on? Tell me what's on your mind.
I'm like, I'm just like nervous, but really excited.
Don't be nervous.
It's like I'm meeting an idol. I'm literally meeting an idol. But like, just preparing for this moment for so long.
13-year-old Zaya asked Michelle what advice she has for young people who want to follow her example of pursuing their dreams with inspiring confidence. And Michelle confessed that she thinks Zaya is the one delivering an important message of empowerment.
I mean, I am just so proud of you, being just an amazing role model and embracing your truth, right? You're already doing this, so maybe this is for some other young people that are listening.
I feel.
But let me just say, it does take time to know what your self is, for young people. So my first piece of advice is be patient with yourself. Number one, at your age or in the teenage years and probably through your 20s, you're going to be experimenting with so many versions of yourself, right?
Shut the fuck up!
Programs and activities. Walk us through what this change looks like.
Well, this is a very important change because, of course, the size and scope of the Affordable Care Act is very significant in healthcare. So this is an interpretation of the ACA and Section 1557 that when the ACA refers to sex and not discriminating according to sex in all of its different programs, that includes, as you mentioned, sexual orientation and gender identity. And we'll be working throughout HHS to implement those plans.
What the fuck you do that for?
Athletes from playing sports at high school and college levels.
I think that they're very challenging and unfortunate. I think that trans youth are very vulnerable. They have often faced significant bullying and harassment, and they need our support. They need to be nurtured, not to be limited from their activities.
Will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family.
Trust, believe in the Most High, and chase your dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. It's hard. If it was a plane, you're gonna experience turbulence. Yeah. If it's a ship, you're gonna go through some rough waters where rocky wave, big waves. Ride there. As long as you believe that your destination, you want to get there, you'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living my dreams.
I told you this, nigga.
In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
I ain't got no motherfucking boss. SP motherfucking I. And Lord Hybrid is in the building.
Lord Hybrid.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro.
Nigga got money.
Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid, my brother. Peace to the God.
And Lord Hybrid is in the building.
Oh man, these transgenders about to have to go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, be up out of there. Shout out to my man Outcast. I see you out there. Love them drops, no doubt, man. No doubt. I gotta buy them drops, man. Yeah, they cost money. But salute to all the homies that, you know what I mean, send my drops. But hell yeah, we here. But yeah, man, it's so much positivity and so much good things that the Trump administration is bringing, and I'm excited. You know what I mean? I'm excited about what's gonna happen, and okay, so damn, crashing out left and right, man. You know, I mean, I just think what it is it's a learning experience for them, and they don't seem to be processing it the way that I would process it. I mean, it's basically because they're finger pointing and trying to pinpoint the exact thing, and but they're saying it's Nancy Pelosi says Joe Biden's fault because he dropped out too late and didn't give Kamala enough time and stuff like that. Some people saying it's Kamala's strategist that's wrong. Some people saying she blew the money, the billion. You know, there's a lot of people, but the one thing I don't hear nobody on that side, which I know why they'll keep being incorrect, is I never hear anybody talking about the American people and how just nobody listened to them. And what their strategy is, you know, they got a lot of them, but preach to the American people and wag their fingers at them, and then spend money, and then that'll make them vote. Not go talk to the people and listen to the people and see what regular people, they're stuck in their own little talking point bubble, and they don't realize that most people ain't in it with them. Most people don't like trans. I don't like trans.
About their intellect, they're learning about what they love, what they're good at, what they like. This is the period of exploration, right? And sometimes we put too much pressure on teenagers to know who you're going to be. Like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
That's what I write. It was a question that I hated. It's like, how am I supposed to? I'm 13. I'm 12. You're not supposed to know yet.
Zaya's famous parents shared their love and support for her milestone in the comments section, with Gabrielle calling the teen such a star. The duo clearly get along like besties and enjoy some epic collabs of their own. Just days before Zaya's conversation with Michelle, she and Gabrielle recreated one of the most memorable scenes from the actress's 2-decade movie career, and we're definitely more than whelmed about it.
Tell us you've watched 10 Things I Hate About You without telling us.
You've watched 10 Things I Hate About You.
You can be overwhelmed, and you can be underwhelmed. Can you ever just be whelmed?
I think you can in Europe.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, they don't understand that. We don't want to hear that shit. We don't support that shit. All the whole LG, nothing, none of it. We don't fuck with that. They don't seem to understand that. Most Americans don't. And they just need to look at that map. That map tells the question. They need to understand what that map gives the answer. You know what I'm saying? And they need to understand that most of America is Republican. Most of America is rural. Most of America is conservative. Most of America don't want all this stuff they talking about, and they haven't talked to the American people, and they don't understand that. So if they just take a look at the map and the colors, they probably can learn something about. They probably can learn something from that. They probably could take what they learning to change their message. They don't realize how far left they are. There's a center, there's a right, there's a left. And when you get to the extremes, it's just like going to the North Pole. There's hardly nobody there living there because it's extreme weather. It's harsh. When you go to the South Pole, same thing. So you got to be kind of in the center right, center left. They're all the way far left. They're living. They don't realize they moved to the North Pole and ain't nobody going up there with them. And that map shows you that. What you're looking at right now. So yeah, there's a lot of things being hopefully it's an opportunity for them to learn. Hopefully they'll learn and then stop saying that the things that we think or that we notice are wrong.
So what do you do with a racist theory chanted by white supremacists, embraced by killers, used for hate for generations? Well, if you're Tucker Carlson, you embrace it again and again and again. John Avlon has a reality check.
Extremists and the unhinged will always be with us, but they haven't always had people in positions of power and influence amplifying and justifying their message. That's why Tucker Carlson's double-down defense of replacement theory is worth more than his trademark confused dog look.
I know that the left and all the little gatekeepers on Twitter become literally hysterical if you use the term replacement, if you suggest that the Democratic Party is trying to replace the current electorate, the voters now casting ballots, with new people, more obedient voters from the third world. Let's just say it, that's true. I mean, everyone wants to make a racial issue out of it. Ooh, the white replacement theory. No.
Now, it's hard to argue that warning about obedient voters from the third world isn't racial, but just to level set, let's see who's been chanting about replacement.
Jews will not replace us! Jews will not replace us!
Yeah, that would be white nationalists and neo-Nazis at the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally. See, the Great Replacement theory was also cited by mass shooters in El Paso and New Zealand. So Tucker should know that replacement theory is not disconnected from race and racial violence. In fact, a new analysis by the Washington Post shows that since 2015, right-wing extremists have been involved in 267 plots or attacks and 91 fatalities. Now, for Tucker, these facts might not matter. After all, Fox News lawyers argued that no one expects him to tell the truth. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
This is a voting rights question. I have less political power because they're importing a brand new electorate. Why should I sit back and take that? The power that I have as an American guaranteed at birth is one man, one vote, and they're diluting it.
Case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about a young woman who'd been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened. But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up. So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. there wouldn't be a problem.
So they were calling people who said there was a replacement theory conspiracy theorists. They said they're going to bring a whole bunch of millions of migrants in, illegal aliens. Let's call them the technical definition by the government. From what I grew up my whole life, they called them illegal aliens. Illegal aliens. So they done brought in 20 million illegal aliens during the campaign. The state of Virginia was trying to remove the illegal aliens off the voter rolls, and the Department of Justice sued to stop that. They wanted these non-citizens to be able to vote. The Department of Justice is supposed to be neutral. Why are they suing states who the Constitution gives the states the right to control the elections? That's in the Constitution. Why is the so-called neutral Department of Justice suing Virginia to try to stop them from getting illegals, not denying the rights of American citizens, illegals off the rolls? They lost, and ultimately they lost Pennsylvania. Did they? I think they won Virginia. But still, they were fighting for illegal aliens to keep on the voter rolls. So the replacement theory, CNN told us it was a racist conspiracy theory.
Yeah, that would be white nationalists and neo-Nazis at the Charlottesville Unite the Right rally. See, the Great Replacement Theory was also cited by mass shooters in El Paso.
Ballots with new people more obedient.
John Avlon has a reality check. So what do you do with a racist theory chanted by white supremacists, embraced by killers, used for hate for generations? Well, if you're Tucker Carlson, you embrace it again and again and again. John Avlon has a reality check.
Extremists and the unhinged will always be with us, but they haven't always had people in positions of power and influence amplifying and justifying their message. That's why Tucker Carlson's double-down defense of replacement theory is worth more than his trademark confused dog look.
But if they're all properly vetted, and that doesn't happen, and America is not having enough babies to keep our populations up. Okay. So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work. Right. There wouldn't be a problem.
So it's just like Alex Jones. They say he's a crazy conspiracy theorist, and don't listen to him. But then if you listen to him over time, everything he said comes true. And so we have a great opportunity with President Trump and President Elon Musk, Vice President Vivek Ramaswamy, and all of them to clean this out. So it's crazy, but when you think about Kamala, I mean, well, this is what I think when I think about Kamala.
I need everybody in the crowd to make some noise for Miss Mary. Our future president. Let's get this done, Atlanta. That is too nasty. How big? But my bank account dead. She didn't get my name in their mouth. Now they gag. It's a move.
Kamala, I don't know. She's a lie. First of all, she got caught lying about her grandma. She had a book she got, but it's supposed to be staying next to her grandma. Her grandma died before she was born. That's not even her grandma. So you lied about something that's small, something like that. That's just somebody can find out that you're lying. What you won't lie about? I mean, I don't like the way she had like Megan Thee Stallion. Like that's almost like she's saying like anybody. I can get these rappers to come up here and this is automatically gonna vote for me. I don't even care about politics, but I'm like, people see through that. Like, plus I don't think. I don't even want to say this on camera, but I just think that a man should be president.
There's a few things that there were bullet points, and I'm not reading off no paper or nothing right here. All this stuff come out top of my head that I wanted to say that kind of affected Kamala Harris in particular. One, I think that by Trump campaigning on our wallets, that resonated with blacks. Here's another thing too, behind that. That blacks and whites. They didn't think about this part of it, but especially blacks. When Trump, was being indicted on all these charges and stuff, it resonated with a lot of black men. It showed when they had the breakdown of different ethnic groups. He had an uptick from black men that resonated. Two was being shot on national television. Being assassinated. Actually, there was 2 attempts on his life. All of us in the black community know we have 2 problems. One, black men being locked up at an alarming rate, mass incarceration. So he fell right into that. It appealed to a lot of people in that. Second of all, was the violence that we have in the hood, gang violence, being shot, being scared to jump out somewhere and pump some gas because you might be in the middle of 2 gangs war and innocent people always get killed. Well, he got shot on TV. Those are the 2 things that kind of resonated with it. Here's a third wild card thing that a lot of people didn't think about. And I'm gonna bring the whole Puffy situation into this, and people are gonna be like, "Well, how does the Puff situation have anything to do with the election at all?" In the years past, the Democrats, they could always pull something over our heads by going to get other celebrities, going to get Beyonce's to speak, going to get so and so to come out, going to get this. You understand what I'm saying? The biggest entertainer, the biggest actor. We always had Hollywood on our side. Well, right now Hollywood is hot. You understand what I'm saying? Hollywood is under attack from all the gatekeepers. From the we got a lot of CEOs that have stepped down from major labels. We have a lot of celebrities that are, preachers and everything else that are in affidavits from freak out parties and all this. So right now, that lane that Kamala always, the lane that the Democrats always have used to win by using the celebrities, using Hollywood, I don't think this time was a good time to do it because of the temperature in hip hop, in entertainment, in Hollywood. It didn't resonate the same. It actually helped. It made Donald Trump look more anti-establishment, I'm against, the gatekeepers. They won't come talk to me. Beyonce, they won't come and bring me out. You know why? Because they the gatekeepers. They doing exactly what Kat said a long time ago. You understand? I'm against all that type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it looked like. I'm not saying Trump said that, but that's what it looks like. That's a wild card in this whole thing. If I know that, that Beehive, that if, hypothetically, if a basketball player, if it's hot, basketball players are going out shooting motherfuckers, then that ain't the person I want to bring me out, you know what I'm saying, to try to win an award or an election. Right there. Hey, I'm gonna have to cool off to y'all. Y'all hot. You know what I'm saying? So the Hollywood was hot. And I don't think that Kamala, a lot of the people that, she had Megan Thee Stallion dropping it like it's hot at the DNC.
Make some noise for Miss Harris. Our future president. Let's get this done, Atlanta. I'm sad, that is too nasty. Talk big, but my bank account dead. She didn't get my name in their mouth, now they gag. It's a move.
Yo, having that kind of stuff at my presidential candidate. You see Beehive, Wicked from Beehive. You see Oskino, and a lot of black people I've heard. She turned off a lot of black men by bringing Meg Thee Stallion out there because there's a lot of black men. We hate this. We hate black women twerking. We hate weave. We hate the promiscuous. She got a black man locked up sitting in jail right now on some bullshit. She represents everything we hate as men, black men and black women. That's what Meg represents. She's totally promiscuous. She's obnoxious. You couldn't trust her at all. She backstabbed a black man that invested millions in her to get her career started. And soon as she got a little access to Jay-Z and all them, stabbed that dude in the back. And he was from where she was from. Didn't try to bring him with her. And like, this could be my baby and Slim. No, stabbed him in the back soon as she could. So she represents everything that we hate. I mean, many of us hate. And I've heard, I wasn't able to clip all the ones I heard, but as I've been traveling through the internet since Meg came in, that was a big complaint of black men. This bullshit.
I need everybody in the crowd to make some noise for Miss Mary. Our future president. Let's get this done, Atlanta.
Stay the fuck away from these hoes, the dumb motherfuckers. Like, god damn.
And there's a lot of us that stay away from hoes, especially young men. But older men catching it too. I even see Act. I don't see Act with no bitches no more. Niggas like, yo, I just be chilling back here with my cars, doing my stream, getting my money. I'm worth $30 million now. He's doing shit like that. I don't even talk about hoes no more. Unless he talking to that nigga, what's that nigga name? Safari. The nigga that used to be married to Erica Mena. And trust me, I don't follow these niggas. I don't like watch their reality shows. I don't even have cable. I haven't watched TV in a long time. But yeah, but I see him. I know about their relationship. I know they got a divorce, and he said I be on the phone trauma bonding with that nigga Savari. That's what academics say. Like these niggas, they don't, and most these niggas don't even want bitches no more. Not saying they don't want to fuck bitches no more, but they just like, I just can't have this bullshit because now they get money. Now they getting money, so they don't need all that distraction. Shit. Niggas got G-Wagons and shit. Niggas don't even niggas don't even want distraction. Niggas is making millions of dollars at the house and they buying G-Wagons.
And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
Yeah. So these women, I think she really left a bad taste in the mouths of black men. We felt like, don't approach us with nigga shit. When you go talk to the fucking the white whatevers or the whoever's, you talking about business. You go talk to the business people, you talking about business. Tax breaks. When you go talk to the Jews, you're talking about Israel and money. Even when you go talk to the Muslims, you're talking about stopping the wars and all that shit and economics. Then when you come to talk to us, you bring Meg Thee Stallion. And I know the women, they, hey, yeah, Meg. And the dudes are like, I didn't think I was coming to a booty shaking concert. I came here thinking to hear about policy. You got Megan Thee Stallion twerking. I don't like that. Now you're making me not trust you because you coming at me wrong. So I think that cost her, that shaved off some black male votes right there. And then they wanted to trust her to be the president of the United States. And I didn't see any type of leadership qualities that would, or any results that would, warrant that.
And Garrett are joining us on Zoom from Pennsylvania, and I understand your sister and brother-in-law moved in, and you're hoping to save money to have a second child?
That's right. Hi, Oprah. Hi, Madam Vice President. It's nice to be with you all.
Yes.
Hi.
And so, what did you want to say to the vice president?
So, Madam Vice President, we are, like many, many young Americans, just experiencing a very high cost of living. We ended up giving up our apartment, moving in with our parents who were so gracious to take us in for over a year so that we could save money and ultimately buy a home, because that's what we thought the American dream was, to get married and buy a home and have a baby. And now here we are, and our mortgage is incredibly higher than what we thought it would be. And my sister and our brother-in-law are living with us right now so that they can hopefully one day do the same. And while it's beneficial for us because they help us pay off some of our mortgage, it's also beneficial for them because they can save on cheaper rent. But we really would love to know what your plan is to help lower the cost of living.
Yeah, first of all, thank you both for being here. And yours is a story I hear around the country as I travel. And in terms of both rightly having the right to have aspirations and dreams and ambitions for your family, and working hard and finding that the American dream is, for this generation and so many recently, far more elusive than it's been. And we need to deal with that. And there are a number of ways. One is bringing down the cost of everyday necessities, including groceries. So that's why I'm taking on, for example, price gouging, which is when, most companies and corporations are good, but for those bad ones, they take advantage of people, especially during a pandemic or extreme weather, and they end up jacking up prices, and there needs to be accountability and consequence for that. So I'm going to be taking on price gouging. But it's also about dealing with what we need to do around home ownership, right? So as someone mentioned during this film, look, I grew up a child of a mother who worked very hard. She raised me and my sister, and she saved up, and by the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy a home. And we grew up actually for a long time in an apartment on top of a child care center that was owned.
God damn, bitch. Will you answer the question? This shit is frustrating. Damn, I'm glad this bitch is gone.
By the woman we called our second mother, because she helped my mother raise us. And she was a small business owner, Miss Shelton. So I'll bring all this together to tell you the way I think about it is, one, when people work hard and have a dream of buying a home, we should give you the opportunity to be able to do that, which is why part of my plan is for first-time homeowners, buyers, to have a $25,000 down payment assistance to buy your first home. Because people just need to be able to get their foot in the door, and then you'll do the hard work. Part of my plan is what we need to do to support small businesses, because my second—
Get my money, you cheap bitch!
Small businesses and our small business owners, they are not only business leaders, they are community leaders. They mentor, they hire locally, and we have so many entrepreneurs in our country who have great ideas, incredible work ethic, but not necessarily access to capital, because not everybody, like my opponent, was handed $400 million on a silver plate that he filed bankruptcy 6 times on. And so—
You ain't nobody.
Startup small businesses, a $50,000 tax deduction to start up their small business. Right now it's $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. So—
Get my money, you cheap bitch!
That's a business in
teeny tiny business.
It's a concept of a business,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You know where I'm going. That's right.
You know what these three have in common? Look at them. 1, 2, and 3. They both old as hell. They successful as a motherfucker. They're childless and manless. Childless and manless. You got this fine ass sister with that fat ass that should have had like 4 kids. That's sure enough would have let something go up in her. With that ass. 4 old miserable ass childless bitches.
Yes. You know where I'm going. That's right. And
It's still on paper with the $5,000. It's still on paper.
It just hasn't happened,
Right.
right? Part of to speak to you guys and your family and your dreams is what we need to do around giving middle-class families tax breaks. And so part of my plan is also to extend and expand the child tax credit to $6,000 so that you can, in the first year of your child's life, have the resources to be able to buy a crib and a car seat and clothes for your baby, knowing that's such an extraordinarily important time in their development, and you shouldn't have to worry.
Shut the fuck up!
More as part of what I plan to build, and I call it an opportunity economy. And it's basically about creating opportunities, knowing so many people have the ambition, have the aspirations, are working hard, but just need opportunity to reach their goals and their dreams.
She just wants you to be dependent on the government. You got to come to the government. And then it's not going to happen. She's going to tell you this. And then, well, we couldn't get it through Congress. Just like when we told you about the student loan relief. Couldn't get through that Congress. Couldn't get that through Congress. And we couldn't get this through Congress. So, sorry about that. But here go Israel, and here go goddamn 200 billion for these people, 300 billion for those people. Some other migrants, we got 100 billion for them, but we ain't got nothing for you, American citizen taxpayer. Politicians are so fucking stupid, man. So stupid. And so incapable. Barely capable.
Meanwhile, the Harris campaign is over, but there are still some bills left to be paid. The campaign of Harris Walsh raised over $1 billion, but somehow, despite, I believe, having $160 million still in the bank on October 20th, ends the campaign $20 million in debt. Now, how did they spend that money? There's a lot of different ways you go about spending $1 billion. But the one that stuck out to me, guys, is, of course, she did the interview with the Call Her Daddy podcast. This was a podcast that stopped and started several times in terms of scheduled, then delayed, then scheduled, then delayed. Ultimately, it ended up happening, I think, in Washington, D.C. I'm not sure where they ended up doing it.
At a hotel in Washington, D.C.
So they had to recreate the Call Her Daddy podcast, which the campaign paid for. Recreate the set. $100,000 for that set right there.
They recreated the set?
Because Kamala didn't want to go to LA. I guess it's filmed out of LA or shot out of LA. So she didn't want to go there, and she said, we want to do it here. But we want it, again, in line with the inauthenticity of the campaign. She said, let's make it look like I went all the way to LA. It'll cost $100,000.
And I
Thank you,
can't believe
donors.
the guest would pay for that. When I saw this, I'm like, well, the show pays for their own recreation of their own set, right? Like, we would do that. I mean, if I went somewhere, for example, to interview The Rock, when I did that, who do you think paid for the cameras and the set? You know what I mean? Not The Rock.
Yeah.
He didn't pay for the set.
Yeah, but if you
Kamala Harris paid for the set. I don't know.
But it's other people's money. It's donors' money, and they just go.
You've got also think, look at that really quickly. $100 grand.
Yeah,
why did it cost so much?
Yeah, that's true. It looks like it all came from IKEA.
Right. All right, guys. So we got to talk about Kamala Harris and her campaign currently getting roasted for being over $20 million in debt, despite raising over $1 billion. Over $1 billion. And now she is $20 million in debt. And what does she have to show for it? Well, she has a blowout loss to former President Trump.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. I wanted to make sure y'all knew that. If you look in the description box, Trump created his team or whoever a way for you to nominate policies, for the people to nominate policies. So you could write a policy like, whatever. I don't think they should allow credit card interest rates to go over 20%. It should be a federal rule or whatever. And you could write that policy, and then there's other people, and they'll respond or upvote your policies. And it can actually get implemented into as law into the government. Like they opened a portal for people to actually create policy and suggest policy to the administration that they could get coded into law. It could be some people have said ban mRNA shots. Some people have said ban vaccine mandates. You know, I threw a couple of policies out there my damn self, and it's a you know, it's a smaller community, but as more awareness goes out, so I'll put the links, and you can submit policies as well as you can nominate people for positions. So one thing they're doing now is they're actually choosing the cabinet, and there's some positive things going on in that area. One of the most important things that I feel is important about this election is the government being corrected, the bureaucracy, the unelected. You know, they just hired 40,000 federal employees last month. They hire tens of thousands every month. It's growing, it's growing. And they just sucking the life out of the U.S. economy, not of the taxpayer. And there's a lot of corruption and a lot of bad actors in there. So with the possibility of President Trump having total control, both houses of Congress and the presidency and the Supreme Court, we got the whole government. We got the whole thing. So the government itself and the reduction of the government is the most important issue to me, because I think those are the people who were called to World War III. Those are the people who will inflict tyranny, which they did with COVID and mandates and stuff like that. Those are the people who control the politicians and make them start wars and things like that and feed the beast, and employees go in between them, like Lloyd Austin, the black military leader, commander, him and Millie or whatever his name is. And it's a total corrupt organization and operation. They should be jailed for RICO, because they're running a RICO and stealing our money. They're treasonous. They get people killed too. They kill lots of other people and they get our people killed. And it's a for-profit thing. So putting people in who won't do that, because Nikki Haley was one of them. Because soon as she had started a defense contracting firm. She has no defense contracting experience. Got $1 million from Boeing, or millions of dollars from Boeing. And she's going in here, we need to have strong this. We need to go bomb them. We need to go do that. We need to finish them. We need to kill them. Started doing that politically to enrich herself and her masters. And breaking that up is going to make the world a safer place, the world a more peaceful place. It's going to make us richer. So it's highly important that aspect, that was the most important issue to me. I was like, because this is the first time I actually felt scared of the government. Like, part of the reason I talked less and I refused to talk anything about politics was because I was afraid of the government. Because I'm easy to shut down. They can shut down. They can do things that affect my business. They could send something at me. They can do anything they want to you. So the best thing to do is stay off the radar and stay the fuck out their way. And that's what I was doing. Because a lot of the things that I was thinking, I was like, well, if this message spreads, I'll be targeted. So this is a big, like, when Trump won, I just felt a sense of relief. And reading this helps me understand that, that's a correct feeling. So anyway, 100% I'm on it. Don Jr. tells Dave Smith he'll block neocons and warhawks from administration. And I know it's true because Deep State wanted Trump to put Nikki Haley somewhere. And he came out today and said Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo will not be part of his administration. That's the biggest slap in the world. She just got slapped down. Her political career is over just with that tweet. She'll never be trusted again. She already lost all the trust because Vivek during the primaries destroyed her. He told her, I know about the defense business and contract and money from Boeing because of Vivek. And once I found that out, I was like, fuck that bitch. And ever since then, you just see the worst out of her. Absolutely not. Mike Rogers is a CIA-owned deep state clown who could not care less about putting America first. He will stab Trump and all of his supporters in the back at the very first opportunity in order to push America last neocon foreign policy. Okay, so now the people and the people they're listening to the people now. So if they dig up some dirt on you and they find out you are neocon or you're one of them people that's tied to the defense industry or whatever, you're dead. Trump Jr. told comedian Dave Smith on Sunday, I am on it in response to keeping all neocons and warhawks out of the Trump administration. Dave Smith said, the Stop Pompeo movement is great, but it's not enough. Right now, we need maximum pressure to keep all neocons and warhawks out of the Trump administration. They have had their time at the table and brought nothing but disaster to the world and this country, America first. Okay, Dave Smith, I like the way that sounds. So about Mike Rogers, Don, the new conservative era is off to a good start, and so far it appears that Trump admin 2.0 is not messing around. I know they got a lot of confidence from that sweeping victory. Perhaps the biggest complaint about the 2016 Trump administration was how quickly a nest of neocon swamp creatures slithered their way into his cabinet. Yeah, that was a complaint of mine too, and now we understand why. He said he didn't know what he was doing. He was taking suggestions. He didn't vet the people, and they turned out to all be swamp creatures. In his interviews with podcasters like Joe Rogan, Trump would later regret his resilience on establishment GOP advisors who helped him fill the thousands of cabinet positions required for a presidential transition. It was this same cabal of advisors that would help to sabotage his efforts to institute federal reforms, secure the border, clear out corruption, and ultimately some of them tried to help the Democrats destroy him. As the saying goes, in a revolution, always be sure to save a magazine for your so-called allies. Damn. Yeah. See, that's why this administration is going to be so much better and so important to giving us the country back. They got to get it all done, and Elon is the guy. He got the capabilities. So he got everything he needs. He got RFK over the health, the vaccines, and cleaning up all that mess. Yo, I'm so excited about this administration. I have 100% trust in these people. By some miracle, Donald Trump has received a second chance to make things right. And it looks as though he learned some valuable lessons from the internal sabotage that took place during his first term. There's little chance we will be seeing ghouls like John Bolton, Anthony Fauci. I want him arrested. I want Anthony Fauci in jail. Or Mike Pence haunting the halls of the White House in 2025. In fact, Trump recently put swirling rumors to rest that he might be including neocons like Mike Pompeo and Nikki Haley in his newest administration. He made the announcement on November 9th on his Truth Social account, rejecting any notions that they would be working with him for his second term. President Trump clarifies that this is Charlie Kirk, will not be inviting Ambassador Nikki Haley and Secretary Mike Pompeo into his next administration. President Donald J. Trump, quote, I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. I very much enjoyed and appreciated working with them previously and would like to thank them for their service to our country. Make America great again. That's a good slap in the face. End quote. After the Make America Great Again. I love that. It's a surprisingly cordial message that sets a much needed standard. This is welcome news for a lot of conservatives and independents looking for a true break from the deep state and a fresh start for establishment cronies in the moment he entered the Oval Office. For those unaware, Pompeo has a nasty reputation as an anti-liberty bureaucrat and a war hawk. I didn't know that about Pompeo. To illustrate the Pompeo problem, Tucker Carlson relates his own encounter with the office of the former CIA director and Secretary of State. Oh, he's a former CIA director. Wow. Remember what Tucker Carlson told Joe Rogan about Mike Pompeo?
Mike Pompeo was plotting to. The next day, I'll never forget it, I went quail hunting. And I was driving back, and I got a phone call from Mike Pompeo's lawyer. Mike Pompeo was the Secretary of State, but before then, he was the director of the CIA. And in that position, he plotted the murder of Julian Assange. So he is a criminal as far as I'm concerned. But his lawyer called me and said, you should know that anyone who tells you the contents of classified documents has committed a crime. He's threatening me. This is in my car. With my dog sitting next to me, I'll never forget this. And I said, are you really saying that to reveal that the U.S. government had a role in the murder of a democratically elected president, to say that out loud, that's the crime? What about the actual crime, which is murdering a president? Like, you're covering up for that, Mike Pompeo.
What did he say to that?
He had no response at all. And so Mike Pompeo is the one who pressed Trump to keep those documents secret. And so it's like, what's crazy to me is not just that Pompeo did that. I think Pompeo is a really sinister person and a criminal. I think that because the facts suggest that. He was caught. Yahoo News, Mike Isikoff wrote a long piece on this several years ago. His employees went to Mike Isikoff and said, hey, Mike Pompeo is plotting to murder Julian Assange, who's never even been charged with a crime in the United States, as CIA director. That's illegal. You're not allowed. Federal employees are not allowed to just kill people they don't like. Okay, just to set the baseline here. So that's who Mike Pompeo is. But he somehow intimidated Trump into not releasing this. Well, okay, that's all bad, right? I think it's criminal behavior. What's crazy is how Mike Pompeo is treated. He's treated as like a Republican poobah in good standing. He fully expects to become the Secretary of Defense in a Trump administration, which is like completely insane. Why would you take a criminal and give him nuclear weapons? Okay, that's my view. I think it's a common sense view. And like he goes to fundraisers and dinners and everyone's like, hey, Mike Pompeo. It's like, no, you're the guy who kept information the public has a right to know secret. You're the guy who plotted the murder of someone who committed no crime. You are the outlaw. You are the bad guy. But no, he's treated as like, like a pillar of Republican Washington. I think it's mind-bending to watch that.
So, hey, good to not have Mike Pompeo coming in. Good to keep his ass out. To be sure, Pompeo plays the game and says what conservatives want to hear when it's necessary, and his policies tend to run concurrent to his predecessors, but that's the issue. The old neocon guard is a dinosaur that needs to go. Republican strategist Roger Stone issued a stark warning to President-elect Donald Trump on Friday. Trump should not trust the former cabinet member. Talking about Pompeo. Now that Trump is back on top, it becomes far more difficult to separate the wheat from the chaff, Stone wrote on his website. Stone went on to single out Pompeo and Trump's former UN ambassador and one-time 2024 Republican rival, Nikki Haley. These neocons have positioned themselves to get highly influential roles within the second Trump administration, Stone wrote. And this sinister filth column has the potential to be more harmful to Trump's America First agenda than his leftist opinion within the Democrat Party. Some may recall that Nikki Haley was thoroughly raked over the coals by Vivek Ramaswamy for her neocon tendencies during the Republican primaries. This is what turned me off from Nikki Haley, and I never could fool with her again.
Need somebody in the White House who absolutely is going to be a fighter when it counts. And I did say that there were some good people on that stage in that third debate. Doug Burgum was on that stage at that time, and I'll say that jokingly. Ron DeSantis is a good person too. I want to go back though to Nikki Haley's comment from earlier that she is somehow not responding to the will of these donors. Nikki, you were bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt. And when I said they were bought and paid for, I meant the Republican establishment, not the Democratic establishment. Now you have Reid Hoffman, the person who's effectively George Soros Jr., funding lawsuits across this country against Donald Trump to keep him off the ballot, funding left-wing causes. We discovered this week that he is one of Nikki Haley's largest supporters. Larry Fink, the king of the woke industrial complex, the ESG movement, the CEO of BlackRock, the most powerful company in the world, now supporting Nikki Haley. And to say that doesn't affect her is false, because it's after that meeting later that day that she says that every American needs to be doxxed by having their ID, their government-issued ID, tied to what they say on the internet. So I think that this is far more corrupt than I even imagined when I entered politics. But I will say this. It is going to take a leader from the outside with fresh legs from the next generation to unite this country, not the broken politicians who are puppets of the puppet masters.
That ended it for me. I never considered it again. After I heard him do that to her and it was all true and she couldn't refute it and it turned out to be true, I was like, I'm done with Nikki Haley. So yeah, these are not the kinds of people that should be allowed anywhere near the next Trump presidency. Luckily, the voices of reason have the floor this time, and Trump seems to be listening. That's excellent. And this is the most important thing that's happening of everything. And there's so many things, because I think also RFK taking over the FDA and all that is extremely important. The COVID craziness is proof of that. I felt very uncomfortable during that. I was like, will they be able to get to me? I didn't know. So anyway, yeah, that's what's up. That's it right there, man. We winning. Yeah, it's crazy, man. But I think it seems as though Trump has such a powerful mandate that we gave him, we the people, that that's making the deep state afraid of him. The dude Jack Smith that had all the federal charges on him, he done dropped all the charges and he's leaving town. The state ones, they'll get taken care of, but it's gonna be some stuff. I think they need a law. Well, I'm gonna put that in as a policy. Write that down in my brain. Just wrote that down. Put that, because I want one of my policies to go in the law. Go have the Lord hybrid law. Goddamn shit. But yeah, I'm really excited about that the most. And just the way that the funniest thing is Kamala and the money. That's the funny shit. How did Kamala blow all that damn cash? Typical Negro shit on Hollywood stars and private jets. $1 billion though. Damn. Vice President Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, advised by leftist political strategists, spent $1 billion centered around labeling former President Trump and a majority of Americans Hitler and Nazis. They poured millions into far left Hollywood stars, elaborate concerts, and private jet travel.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
In one of the most and private jet travel, yet still ended up $20 million in debt and got defeated in one of the most historic general election wins in a generation.
Come on, man.
Like those niggas that got those PPP checks and balled out on cars and election wins in a generation. It's just like those niggas that got those PPP checks and balled out on cars and shit and then went to jail. It's the same shit. It's just like, when are we going to learn? And I hate to say this because I'm not a racist, but when are we going to learn that you never give a black woman money? Really, you never give a woman money. But definitely not a black woman. And she said she's black. So if she self-identifies as black, I'm going to accept that. So
when you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
That shows you that no matter how much money they get, I'm going to accept that. So we gave this black woman this money, $1 billion, and she fucked it up and ended up in debt. That shows you that no matter how much money they get, how good a job they get, they're going to end up broke. And it won't take long. It only took her 90 days. Ex-user Autism Capital cited a new report of Federal Election Commission filing that shows Harris's team spending trends between August 2023 and October 2024. The data is broken down into monthly spending totals, the top 20 recipients, a distribution of disbursement sizes, spending by type of media, temporal patterns, and trends. Autism Capital said, list the top 500 disbursement recipients from the Kamala campaign. Enjoy the internet. List of top 500 disbursement recipients from Kamala Harris. Oh my God. She spent $281 million on media. Media buying and analytics? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. Gambit Strategies. $122 million to a leftist strategy company. Wow. Bully Pulpit, another $100 million. Gusto. I use Gusto for payroll. Her payroll was $34 million. Damn. I don't even know.
They don't give a fuck.
Million. Strategy. Bully Pulpit Interactive. I guess that's strategy. I don't know what the hell that is. Strategies. All these strategies company. It did media buying and analytics. Media buying? Oh, I guess buying those ads. Yeah, I guess buying those ads and getting the numbers and stuff like that. Those Kamala ads. I know they are expensive. I would expect that she would spend a lot on that. $34 million in payroll. All media. They made a killing off this chick. Truxton Creative made $28 million. Act Blue Technical Services, I can understand that, $17 million. DNC Travel Escrow, $14 million. Action Network, she just had a ball running for president. American Express, $5 million on private jets. Dang. And they said mid-October she had $111 million in the bank, and by 3 weeks she was negative 20 million. Ooh, Harpo. Oprah got a meal. Oprah got a cool meal. Rise Up Media and Marketing. They got 5 mil. That's probably a black marketing company that didn't do nothing. I need to look up Rise Up Media and Marketing Solutions. Wow, they ate, son. They ate. Why did
Get my money, you cheap bitch!
$1 disbursement from the Harris campaign? Oprah got paid $1 million. They all bought off. The rappers got paid. Some of these other companies probably paid the rappers. Then you need to go and vote for, because Oprah said, oh my God. The massive payouts to celebrities from the Harris campaign show what a sham all of the left's Hitler rhetoric is. Oprah says she's fighting against a Nazi takeover, but won't waive her 7-figure fee to show up. What a joke. Yo, this whole campaign was a scam, son.
January 20th, 1961, President John F. Kennedy issued a challenge. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Well, I'm here to tell you that what you can do for your country, what you can do for democracy here, and what you can do for the spirit of John Lewis and all the others who dared to walk across that bridge in Selma and fight for justice for us all. What you can do for every pregnant young woman who has died because she was not eligible to receive the emergency medical care she desperately needed because of an abortion ban.
Shut the fuck up!
$1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought $1 million to interview her in September, $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember?
To Shelby, who's also in our virtual audience. Thank you guys. Shelby from Virginia, who's also struggling with the cost of living. Tell us your story, Shelby. Why?
Hi, Madam Vice President. Hi, Oprah. I'm 24 years old. I'm a graduate student living with my parents, and I want to move out next year and potentially buy a home. And I'm concerned about the affordability of one with the extra costs and bills I'm paying now, along with the bills and costs I will pay in the future too. And so everything just has a cost and everything is so expensive. And so I'm worried about my capacity and how I'm able to fully support myself once I do live independently.
You said, why don't you go get a husband? You young. You probably about 24, 25 years old. You're a mature woman. And all they go to these schools and all they think is independent. Don't need no man. Then by the time they figured out it was a bad idea, they 45 years old. So instead of saying, thinking if you're really thinking independently, like I need to form my team. Even when I formed my business, I wasn't just me. I had to go get my team. So when you get a husband, you're a team. Now you got somebody who could possibly be making more than you, probably making more than you. Because most men make more than most women. And all these chicks with these damn fucking grad degree, master degrees and PhDs, they don't be making that much money. They get out there, they might get a little bump, little 5,000 extra, but they ain't really making money like that. Then the man might be out there doing a sales job or blue collar, or he might be a businessman. He might, you know what I'm saying? That'll make it a lot easier. It's not even a consideration in these people's mind. Her thing is, well, this woman's gonna be the president of the government. So let me talk to her. And what can the government do to help me? Not me form a family, but will I have somebody that's gonna look out for me no matter what? Nope. I want to talk to Big Mama government.
Sound like one of my daughter girls from South Africa graduated. She was like,
how I'm able to fully support myself.
What the fuck is a daughter girl? You got a daughter or you don't? You ain't got no kids, bitch.
Once I do live independently.
you sound like one of my daughter girls from South Africa graduated. She was like, I hate adulting. I hate adulting. This adulting isn't going so well. Yes.
Well, so first of all, congratulations on all the success you've already achieved. And it is your story and the story of our friends before you is really, that's the American story, right? You are working hard, you have goals, you have ambitions. And so part of it is, again, the $25,000 down payment assistance. Part of it is what we need to do to also push back against a very different vision for our country. Because look, in this election, there are two very different visions for our country. One, for me, that is focused on the future, including you, and another that is focused on the past. What Donald Trump, what my opponent plans on doing for the economy is doing what he did the last time.
You ain't told the young lady what you gonna do. Now you already go to the Trump hate. I know the election is over, people. But I'm just saying, who are their strategists? I think it's a bunch of gay dudes.
He was president, and giving another tax break for billionaires and the biggest corporations that would add $5 trillion to our deficit. And get this, he plans on doing what I call a Trump sales tax, which is basically he's going to put a 20% tax on everyday necessities that economists have estimated will cost.
See, I think what she's talking about is tariffs. So she called it a sales tax, a 20% sales tax. Is that like a federal sales tax? That doesn't exist. This lady just lying and making up stuff, man. And you could tell by the look on this young lady's face that that's not answering her question. She looking like this lady ain't saying nothing. But I'm gonna be polite. This lady ain't saying a damn thing.
The average American $4,000 more a year, which is why Goldman Sachs, which is why Moody's, which is why Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing our plan.
See, this is how you know the Democrats are dumb. Because they never just say, you never hear Trump say, well, there was 16 Harvard economists and award-winning Nobel Peace Prizelists who said, they all said, Trump is gonna just be like, nah, that's a bad deal. It's gonna be because Trump said, no, that's a bad deal because they're gonna dump a bunch of steel. It's gonna be too cheap. It's gonna put our factories out. No, we're gonna put the tariff up. Then they're gonna have to compete. And if you raise the tariff high enough, they still need the market. So they just gonna build a factory here. It's gonna be cheaper to just build it here and pay our people. He's gonna explain that on his own authority. He's not gonna have to reference some Nobel laureate economists from Harvard and Princeton. And so they always put they make sure they're telling on themselves that they know they too stupid for anybody to believe them. So they get some smart people to say they said this.
Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing our Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing $4,000 more a year, which is why Goldman Sachs, which is why Moody's, which is why Wharton School of Business, which is why 16 Nobel laureates have collectively determined, after analyzing our plans, one, mine would strengthen the economy, his would weaken it. Two, that on his plan, he would actually blow up inflation, and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So when you think about the cost of living, my approach is about lifting you up. His would be about actually weakening our economy. And I feel very strongly when an individual, when a small business, when a family, when the middle class is strong, America is strong.
Amen to that. Amen.
She looks so disappointed in that answer. Look at her. Poor girl. Because she didn't say nothing. she didn't say absolutely nothing. This girl like, this is bullshit. I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm so disappointed, but I gotta vote for Trump. So yeah, that's Kamala.
But she didn't want to go to their studio in LA. So she made the host fly to DC.
Yo, this whole campaign was a scam, son.
$1 million to interview her in September. $1 million. Now, if she thought she was saving democracy, she should have done it for free. Kamala scared donors by calling Trump a dictator, got $1 billion, then just gave it to her friends and blew the rest on being a diva. Kamala went on a podcast, remember Call Her Daddy? But she didn't want to go to their studio in LA. So she made the host fly to DC and used campaign cash to build a fake set in a hotel room. She spent more than $100,000 to build it. That set, see it? 2 chairs, a coffee table, and a bookshelf. That's 6 figures. Now, we looked at the set. We probably could have done it for around $6,000. That's without labor. But where'd the rest of the money go? We don't know. So she's still trying to soak folks for cash. 24 hours after the election, on Wednesday, Democrats got a text from the campaign. Urgent. We need help. Donate now. Help with what? You lost. This is how she's going to spend her donors' dollars.
Crazy. Fucking crazy. Wow, disbursement range. 60% of the people got more than $10 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. I wish I was working for Kamala. Kamala, I would have damn did whatever you needed me to do. Shit. Kamala was freaking blasting through money, son. I can't even look at all this shit. This girl, this woman, just to lose all that money, $1 billion, all that beautiful red. Look at that. Yeah. And they're further just demonstrating shit, I gotta hear this.
Vice President Harris' stunning loss. The former Speaker Nancy Pelosi placing the blame on President Biden and his late exit from the race. Pelosi telling the New York Times, quote, had the president gotten out sooner, there may have been other candidates in the race. The anticipation was that if the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary. Our next guest has recently been vocal about missteps made in the Harris campaign. It's DNC Woman's Chair and Harris surrogate Lindy Lee joining us now. Lindy, we appreciate you being here. This is sort of an after analysis here of what happened with the campaign. But first, talk to me about what's going on. You see here Nancy Pelosi making the case to sort of blame Joe Biden, but it's a backhanded compliment because she's blaming Joe Biden for allowing Kamala Harris to be the nominee.
Right. Well, thank you so much for having me. And what's left unsaid is that she is not forcefully saying that Harris would have been the strongest candidate after a rigorous process. She's not saying definitively that it would have been her. She says it might have been her, but, you know, maybe there was an alternative. Maybe it was Josh Shapiro or maybe Gretchen Whitmer, someone who could forcefully litigate the case against Donald Trump. And if you truly believe that Trump is an existential threat, and that's what Democrats have been saying for the past couple of years, then you should have had that process instead of just coronating somebody.
What is the relationship What has been the relationship throughout the campaign, and what do you think the relationship is today between Biden world and Kamala Harris world?
Well, I have friends, I mean, in both worlds. And let me tell you, the relationship was terrible even before the campaign. There was backstabbing. They wanted to hand her the most, least favorable agenda. The legislative priorities. She was stuck with immigration, civil rights, like none of that went
Before she was even a candidate,
exactly.
you're saying,
And
as vice president.
there was a lot of backstabbing we saw in the press. People were leaking stuff all the time. The White House is leaking like a sieve when it
See, I knew when Biden gave her that border. Biden was like, I don't want to deal with that shit. And just go, oh, I already know the plan, so that shit gonna land on you. So, Biden was half retarded and half drooling on himself, but Biden is a fucking genius, man. Biden is a fucking genius because the moves he made, he really stuck. Like when the Democrat Party stuck it to him, he stuck it back to them.
Lord Hybrid is right.
came to Kamala Harris. And finally, in the final year, she was able to stabilize and stop the bleeding of her staff because there was a lot of turnover as well. And we saw the press reports about that. And things have finally started to calm down. And I actually think President Biden, the whole endorsing her 30 minutes after he dropped out, I think that was a big FU to the party. You don't want me, here's somebody that you may not like, but deal with it,
Suggesting that he's sticking the party with Kamala
Kind of
Harris.
like sticking it to the man.
Yeah, but okay, help me understand your perspective on that because you worked for Kamala Harris.
I didn't. I'm a donor.
You're a donor.
Technically, I'm not on anyone's payroll. I'm not beholden to anyone. That's why I'm here telling the truth. I'm not here to gaslight anybody. This is just the truth.
What is the truth?
The truth is this is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. Actually, it was $1.018 billion, I think, right? There were $20 million or $18 million dollars in debt.
Right.
It's incredible. And I raised millions of that. I have friends that I have to be accountable to and to explain what happened because I told
Get my money, you cheap bitch.
Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that.
Right.
It's incredible. And I raised millions of that. I have friends that I have to be accountable to and to explain what happened because I told them it was a margin of error race. I was promised, Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believe.
Whoever gave her their money to put on Harris is a fucking idiot. I hope they play both sides. Cause now she's out here ratting on Kamala to save her face with her donors, because that's her job. She raises money for politicians. So they like, yo, you told me all these numbers. Like the donors want reports. The donors want to know, how much what are the polls? What are the percentages of her winning? Where she's strong, where she's weak, how she performing, and they decide on how much to give based on all that information. So she's coming out here saying, hey, I was given information that says she was winning to the last minute. I was told by these people that they were going to win. And turns out it was a big scam and Kamala did it, not me. So that's why she's even out here.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
Believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. Just a $1 billion disaster. Actually, it was $1.018 billion, I think, right? There were $20 million or $18 million dollars in debt.
Right.
It's incredible. And I raised millions of that. I have friends that I have to be accountable to and to explain what happened because I told them it was a margin of error race. I was promised, Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. I feel like a lot of us were misled. And even on the night of election night, Will, I looked somebody in the eye and I said, are we going to do this? Are we going to pull it off? She told me yes. And I asked somebody else, like, how are you feeling? He's like, we're going to win Iowa. And I was like, what?
Do you think did they believe this going in?
Now, this crazy poll came out at the last minute. And, Trump had came out and said the polls are fake. Recently, he didn't want to say, he's like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble. But the polls, like, I don't think they really do any calling. So you got to pay these people $500,000. Then they give you some numbers. We don't know if they really called or if it's a real audience or nothing. And I think most of the polls are fake. They don't call anybody, they just give you numbers. And so this one, like even the polls was in Iowa were down for Kamala, but this one lady came up with a poll and said she was winning by like 14%. It was like, wow, this new poll says she's winning. And it was just a money grab. It was just a scam to keep the donors. So when she's talking about, they told me they were going to win Iowa, it was based on this fake poll they paid this pollster to do to trick the donors. It was this whole thing was a fucking scam.
A turnover as well. And we saw
It's just like Black Lives Matter with those black lesbians, and they kept all the money, didn't do nothing but cause confusion, and then bought mansions and ran with the bag. Same shit. She just hooked up a bunch of bitches.
all the press reports about that, and things have finally started to calm down. And I actually think President Biden, the whole endorsing her 30 minutes after he dropped out, I think that was a big FU to the party. You don't want me, here's somebody that you may not like, but deal with it,
Suggesting that he's sticking the party with Kamala.
Kind of like sticking it to the man.
Yeah, but okay, help me understand your perspective on that, because you worked for Kamala Harris.
I didn't. I'm a donor.
You're a donor.
Technically, I'm not on anyone's payroll. I'm not beholden to anyone. That's why I'm here telling the truth. I'm not here to gaslight anybody. This is just the truth.
And what is the truth?
The truth is this is just an epic disaster. This is a $1 billion disaster. Actually, it was $1.018 billion, I think, right? There were $20 million or $18 million in debt.
Right.
It's incredible. And I raised millions of that. I have friends that I have to be accountable to and to explain what happened, because I told them it was a margin of error race. I was promised, Jen O'Malley Dillon promised all of us that Harris would win. She even put videos out saying that Harris would win. I believed her. My donors believed her. And so they wrote massive checks. I feel like a lot of us were misled. And even on the night of election night, Will, I looked somebody in the eye and I said, are we going to do this? Are we going to pull it off? She told me yes. And
They don't give a fuck.
In Iowa. And I was like, what?
Do you think, did they believe this going in? Was there a real sense of false confidence on the side of Kamala Harris? Or did they know they were in store for disaster?
I was wondering about that. I was like, I asked them, are you privy to internal numbers that I am not seeing? Because I study this so carefully, and I just wasn't seeing any basis for that level of confidence. And I also want to remind our viewers that, the Trump campaign was touting all of these incredible empirical data weeks before election.
But yeah, this lady's whole campaign was a total freaking scam. They ripped off the donors. They got 100 of my dollars, but I was just like, I'm going to give to both candidates, so my name be on the record that I hooked up Kamala too. Maybe that'll give me some grace if she win and these commies come into power. I was scared of them, man. But I didn't think they were going to win. I was very strong for Trump. I knew he would dominate, just like I knew Danny Dubois would dominate Anthony Joshua. I knew Trump was going to dominate, and I told people he would win all swing states, and that's what he did. I could just feel it, like I could feel a sense of urgency in myself. So I know most conscious people could feel it. I know a lot of guys can feel it. I know a lot of guys didn't like what was coming from the other side. And I don't know. I just had that sense that, there was a sense of urgency because I felt it myself.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
Okay, and this is so embarrassing that even President Trump is roasting Kamala Harris as he is offering to pay for her campaign that, okay? And I hope he's not serious about this. I think he's just saying this to troll. But let's read this. He put this out. He says, I am very surprised that the Democrats who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2020 presidential election, I'm not sure if he meant 2024, right? He says 2020, but maybe he meant 2024. Raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they are being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them.
Of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. Physical and emotional. I plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures, and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing,
They also need to just get LGBTQ, all of it, out of the schools, all of it. Anything with that, even in sex ed, they should just be taught how the body functions, and they should be taught normal hetero sex. Anything else, they shouldn't be teaching that in the school. There should be no rainbow flags allowed in schools. There should be no LGBTQ at all in any schools. Because if that's an issue, they got parents, and if they need counselors, the parents can take them to counselors. But the students in the school, because they might start pushing that on to the kids, just like they're doing the trans thing.
Lord Hybrid is right.
body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers.
That's what we need. I'm really happy to hear that. The nuclear family. And also we need to I think as men from the red pill, we need to suggest policies about marriage reform, because ultimately one of the main things that's killing marriage is the laws of marriage, and they need to be changed, modernized, and made fair And so that will encourage women to stay if they don't leave and get gain from leaving. And it will encourage more family formations because there won't be so much fear of loss, especially for men such as myself and other many YouTubers. They're making a lot of money. You got guys making tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars monthly through YouTube. And now they're like, they work so hard, they build something up, they get something, they got something. They don't want to put it at risk to get into a relationship. So, like I made that video those years ago that's on my page now. Men need to unite behind the Republican Party. It seems like men took the advice. I'm not saying they all got it from me. I'm sure most of them didn't get it from me, but they just did it anyway. I could just see that that's what we had to do. Now we have a masculine administration. We have a totally masculine administration, which is something we haven't. Obama wasn't masculine. He was pushing LGBTQ.
Lord Hybrid is right.
He was pushing LGBTQ, and he's not a masculine dude. His woman is more masculine than him. Biden wasn't masculine. He was feeble. And of course, Kamala wasn't masculine. Trump was masculine. Pence wasn't really masculine. I mean, I guess he was masculine. He wasn't really masculine. But now we got masculine. We got Trump, who's the epitome of masculine, and Vance, a Marine war veteran with a wife and kids, a man, nothing feminine about him. And Vivek, masculine man. JFK, somewhat masculine. But these guys are standing firm. Trump is really taking in the information. He does not want to make the same mistakes with picking his staff. His son is heavily involved. His son is very protective of him. And they want to make sure that they have the people in place that are going to be loyal to destroy the bureaucracy and to correct the government and to make the government start working for the people again. So we should be we have to get involved somehow. Not saying, look, like I said, I put the links in the box in the description. They have these new sites to where they're soliciting most of the policy that been going into the federal government be coming from moneyed interests and lobbyists. So it's like they opened up a portal for us to communicate policy to them, and for us within the community to be able to upvote that policy. So the more people that get more votes, and I'm in there voting on good policy. I'm scrolling the policies, every good policy I see, I'm voting for it, trying to make it move up. And the stuff that moves up to the most, they're gonna take it. So they giving us an open door to give policy and personnel nominations, 2 separate sites. That's unheard of. So these masculine men are restoring our democracy, and they're trying to represent the people. So the fact that they even care what we think and giving us opportunity to directly, submit policy, that's man, that's a level of democracy that I'm just blown away by. We got to have, as men, we got to make sure we spread the word about this. Red pill is a good place to start. Grab it, take it, give it to the people, and let the guys start getting in there, and we'll get some policies through. And we got to talk about the things that's important to us that we want policy. So it's time to politic, bruh. It's time to politic. It's time to talk about policy. It's time to educate the people just like we did about the women. Now we got to be the leaders. I done put in like 5 policies already. I'm going to get my voice heard. I ain't getting no votes, but that's okay. I'm voting, and I'm going to as I keep thinking of more things, I'm going to put more policies in. So we got to do that.
When you look at what Lord Hybrid is saying, he's right about all that, really.
So with Trump saying he's gonna start pushing the schools to promote the nuclear family, we need to have the legal infrastructure. That's a terrific thing. We need to put the legal infrastructure and policy infrastructure in so that can actually happen. So for many of us who didn't get an opportunity or who got into a bad situation and it broke apart, we can leave a better structure for the next generation because we're about to go extinct, niggas.
Rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parent's consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this.
Trump ain't playing, man. Trump ain't playing, bro. You know what I mean? And he's you know, Putin did a similar thing. Putin passed a law to protect their ways and norms, and it was a lot like what Trump is saying, but it was specifically to enshrine their ways and norms and to reject the woke, trans, all this stuff to protect. So like with Trump talking about stopping the trans on the children, taking that out to schools, defunding those schools. That's kind of like what Putin did, and it's good. It's what we need because they're trying to tear down our society, and they've already made some progress by just reducing our marriage rate and significantly reducing our fertility rates in terms of, you know, just how many children we're producing. And they're telling the woman, wait till you older, put it off, have your fun. That's a bad message that we have to tell it to stop. Because all you doing is sacrificing your prime reproductive years and destroying your value. Because you're most valuable when you're younger and have less wear and tear as a woman. We need to systematically do that. That's why I was talking about teaching women about the dangers of abortion and how it's making us go extinct, especially black people, because we're doing it the most, the black women. And they ain't gonna want to hear it. I know as soon as I say, you know, abortion is bad, you know, you aborting the baby is gonna make us go extinct in a couple of 100 years. I know what they're gonna say.
Get the fuck out my face with that bullshit. No, stop it.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to take control of them and make them do it by educating them. We can't force. We should be able to force, but we can't. But we have to do that, or we're extinct. You know, and they're ready to replace us. Ready to replace us.
I need everybody in the crowd to make some noise for Miss Mary. Our future president. Let's get this done, Atlanta. I'm sad, better too nasty. How big, but my
is vote. And if you are watching or hearing me right now and you haven't already, you have got to vote. And listen, I know that some of you are feeling burnt out and bruised and maybe inconsequential. Nothing could be further from the truth. Every single vote, every one is going to matter. That's why I've
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, man. We we tired of them. And they're terrible. And we have a new day ahead of us. We have good things ahead of us. We should participate. We should be thought leaders. I mean, during I won't say the early days of MGTOW because I wasn't around for those, but like the earlier days of MGTOW, before monetization and before most of the large personalities that you may know now. We were really just a group of guys expressing thoughts on how to manage this new environment when it came to interacting with women. And it was just different ideas, monk mode, you know, gig economy, pay for play, passport. And it was just people putting out thoughts and ideas. And over time, the most effective ideas became cemented. And so with this new way forward, we have to put our voice in this because we're going to be a part. I mean, it's, just like all of us voting resolutely was collectively, we were able to get what we wanted. We need to do that with policy too. We have to take it. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't know how it's going to be after Trump because it may be good. I think them stealing the election and installing Biden was probably one of the best things that ever happened because it gave them power and it gave people an opportunity to see what would happen if they could do anything they want. And they just took everything to the extreme. I'm talking about the medical tyranny, the taxation, the inflation, just the reckless spending. Joe basically was spending the government, can't just say Joe, but the government was spending just like Kamala was spending on her campaign, just destroying cash, raging inflation like most of us haven't seen unless you were alive in the early 70s. And it was just, the cultural LGBTQ was going insane. Everything was going insane at the same time to the point that where even the regular guys was like, this ain't feeling right. And then it gave us enough time to get tired of the propaganda that we would get from the mainstream media and to go out there and listen to other voices and start listening to each other, start listening more to our independent voices, getting a different perspective. And men were like able to choose between two different sets of information. And we chose more independent media and we got different information, better quality information. Because the lowest quality information out there is on CNN and MSNBC and all of them, NBC, ABC. That's the lowest quality information that you can get. But independent voices present more hardcore facts, make more logical answers. We didn't have to listen. Like most of the media is mostly gay men and gay women, like especially the left media, there's gay men and gay women or very non-masculine men or reduced masculinity men, very severely reduced masculinity men. And now they got all these black women on like CNN. I don't watch the shows, but I see I see the clips on different conservative channels when they're clipping up the black group talking. And it's like, oh my God, this is the lowest IQ stuff. It's the most small, low testosterone, small testicle, man boob stuff. It's the most annoying black woman talking too much stuff. It's just too much. It's just like I can barely get through the clips. It's like equivalent of The View, even though the black people got dudes on CNN. So it's hard to get through those. And now the men have made that switch in their media source, and us having our own voices. Because if you look in the legacy media, it's only weak men, and it's mostly hosted like with especially black. The black man's invisible in the left media. If you're not gay or severely reduced masculine, and you're never gonna be like in charge, especially on a panel, it's always gonna be the black woman who's the moderator. You just a subordinate. As soon as you start saying something true, somebody's gonna really start over. I cannot let you say that because that is a slur against trans. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, he couldn't even make his point. If anything that made sense, somebody overtalked you and say they can't let you say that. And it was just like, I can't watch this shit. I'd rather watch the independent guys. I can go on Rumble. There's guys on YouTube. But this is a once in a life opportunity. We squander this, we're gonna have to pay for it for the next 50 years.
Lord Hybrid is right.
Yep, generations will pay for that. So I think it's just important to I just think it's important to take advantage of this opportunity as much as we can, including red pill and red pill adjacent platforms, black conservatives, all masculinity. We have to really get political for this 4 years to make sure we get the most knowledge in terms of we need to be aware of the changes that are made, and we need to be contributing on a level to where we are affecting and contributing the conversation, making sure, look, we want to get some type of marriage reform, want to save marriage, we got to make a different structure. We got to create something. I'd rather get in a civil union. Maybe you come a lesser tier of marriage, like a civil union where your assets ain't on the line. Something that where we can form families and reduce the risk and make it a more fair for both capable adults. Because I'm not risking my property to get married. I'm not risking my future earnings to get married. I think that's a big concern. No more he/she confusion in the legal realm. You're either a male or a female. If you're confused, get your ass to an insane asylum. I understand the importance of turning the abortion topic over to the states, but if the right to life of a viable fetus were enshrined in the Constitution, Trump would have likely made an executive order or something. An executive, I don't know. But yeah, on executive decision. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, if it was enshrined in the Constitution, which we could do an amendment for that, I just say father's rights. Because I'm not for, I am for making it where it's illegal, period. Except in rape or incest or the health of the mother. I'm for that. But I wouldn't necessarily impose that. I just want to give the father decision-making ability. It needs to be both. It needs to be, if you come to an abortion clinic, they're going to tell you to do a DNA, they're going to do a DNA test on the potential fathers. They have to positively identify the father, and they have to get sign off from the father. That's all I want to add to it. Then they can do what they want. That would even probably make women make more responsible decisions, because they learn that there's consequences, or there's results of their actions that are, they can't get out of it. So if you raw and you let them skeet in you and you make a baby, you did that. So you made that decision. But I say I would have liked to have the right to block the abortion as a father. So I think that's what we need. I'm putting that out there. Give me some policy. Something gonna get in there. The Lord Hybrid law. Let me get me one through. But yeah, like I said about, hey, it's time for the world to recognize America's red.
Trust, believe in the Most High, and chase your dreams. I'm chasing my dreams. It's hard. If it was a plane, you're gonna experience turbulence. Yeah. If it's a ship, you're gonna go through some rough waters where rocky wave, big waves. Ride there. As long as you believe that your destination, you want to get there, you'll do it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm living my dreams.
I told you this, nigga.
In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
I ain't got no motherfucking boss.
SP motherfucking I.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Lord Hybrid.
Lord Hybrid. Lord Hybrid, my brother. Peace to the God.
Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Yo, Lord Hybrid, my boy got them bands, bro.
Nigga got money. And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.
I can smell a motherfucker with money.
Stay the fuck away from these hoes, the dumb motherfuckers. Like, god damn.
And my daughters, you know what they're being taught to be? Wives and mothers. Oh, you want to be ignorant. No, college is what makes you stupid.
Come on, man.
What the fuck you know about what I need on my mind, motherfucker?
I mean, discipline is doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. Doing what you hate to do, but do it like you love it. That is a great quote.
I want all the cars. I want all my niggas with the cars. I want all the hoes. I want all the jewelry. We popping bottles.
But if you believe in God, believe in
SP motherfucking I.
Believe in that, for real.
Ain't nobody slinging no dick in here but Big Daddy, because he's the only one paying bills.
Right.
I told you this, nigga, 2 years ago, you was gonna get left.
Damn, not my boy on that shit. On that shit.
Wake your ass up.
Slap him again, cuz.
Wake your ass up.
Damn. Get up, cuz. Tighten up. Shake back. Shake him back.
Shake back, nigga.
Shake back. Shake back. Shake back.
Shake back,
Slap him
nigga.
again one more time.
Shake back.
Shake back. That nigga sweating his head.
talk about women's health, that's a lie. Because women are hurt with abortion. They're into depression, they get breast cancer, there's many health issues and suicide with abortion.
So if the Democrats are so concerned about their women rights for abortion, well, we're concerned about our body rights too. We don't want to wear masks and we don't want to take vaccines. And I pray that they repent before it's too late.
The pro-choice people talk about women's health, that's a lie. Because women are hurt with abortion. They're into depression, they get breast cancer, there's many health issues, there's many get breast cancer, they get breast cancer, they get breast cancer, they get breast cancer, they get breast cancer. Because women are hurt. The pro-choice people talk about women's health, that's a lie. Because women are hurt with abortion. They're into depression, they get breast cancer, there's many health issues and suicide with abortion.
So if the Democrats are so concerned about their women rights for abortion, well, we're concerned about our body rights too. We don't want to wear masks and we don't want to take vaccines. And I pray that they repent before it's too late.
Come on, I got a present for you. Suck it! Suck it, nigga!
Royalty, the Lord and the Emperor. Yo, bitch, you done already got taken advantage of. We been pimping her. I've been renting, stimping her, busting on her. I think I bust so much on her, I gave her pneumonia. She was trying to give me herpes. I told her, please, pass me that box of condoms. I got to put that over me before I go up in you. You know how I do hybrid, I'm keeping it true. 100% the realest. You could tell I really did it. You could see I really live it. Motherfucking big booty bitches running around in the penthouse with their asses all out. Follow behind the camera that I'm holding. I'm molding these bitches to be more devilish. Niggas is getting mad. It's real sad when you look at what he have and then you look at what you got and you be like, damn, I don't have much. Not the broke nigga. We don't claim you. Not even a lot of hoes come through cause your place kinda funky and creepy and small. Man, get your old ass balls and get up off your drawers and go out there and make some money, nigga. Build your wealth. You ought to be ashamed of yourself with your broke ass.
I'm broke, nigga, I'm broke.
Go work for your master, niggas work for me and give me cheese. Nigga, it's a blessing to be this intelligent and effervescent with my mind. Shining way brighter than the fucking sun even shine. Y'all niggas need to put more time in trying to understand what the grind is. Y'all niggas was walking out here wealthless and mindless.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. I can't eat.
SP motherfucking I.
I told you this, nigga. You was gonna get left.
Jason. Get the fuck off our dick.
Get my money, you cheap bitch.
Whip that pussy.
Down. for you. Suck it. Suck it, nigga.
And then I want to give an acknowledgement to my rich friends in the building. Shout out to Lord Hybrid.
Nigga got money. And the woman gonna know, okay, he got something. He pulled up in the G-Wagon.